Hi everyone, welcome at another buyer's review. Today we will review the last generation, or in the future the third generation X5 that was built between 2014 and 2018. This is quite a popular SUV. This is also understandable from a driving point of view and a styling point of view. Personally, I always thought the X5 looked good, a bit aggressive, and the ML Mercedes looked a little bit more upper class. Rivals for the X5 are the ML, the Q5 and the Q7 from Audi, and the Lexus RX models. In this review we will point out some of the weaknesses that these X5s have. For the record, the internal code of this third generation X5 is F15. As expected, the X5 comes with many engines to choose from, 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders and even a V8. Let's start off with the obvious. All X5s, either petrol or diesel, are not very frugal. Of course the diesels are better, but come on, you're not driving the X5 if you care about saving fuel. And the overall running cost of these cars are quite high. Fuel, tire replacements, road tax, repairs and depreciation are all higher than other cars outside this segment, but are comparable to the competitors within the same segment, so the ML and the Lexus and the Q5 and Q7. With a car like this you need funds to keep it maintained. Buying an X5 on a budget is not recommended. As always, check the interior for wear and tear. This is a people's carrier and sometimes a car like this is used to move items around. So check the upholstery, the interior seat, headrests, check all the buttons on the dashboard and the door panels. Also check if the electric seats still work and if a car was spec'd with this option. Overall, the interior is made out of good quality materials. There are some reports of damages on the side of the driver's seat, so check this carefully. Even though this X5 will not be used in the train often, it might be a good idea to check the chassis for damages. Last but not least, if there is some road noise coming from the driver's door, sometimes the door needs some adjustments to decrease the noise again. This has to do with insulation. Let's check the chassis. Various options were available when it comes to the chassis. The standard chassis is the most durable, but it lacks in comfort. The adaptive settings can turn the chassis from comfort mode into sports mode, and the difference is noticeable. There is an optional air suspension available for the rear axle, which improves the comfort greatly. Great feature, but just like the Mercedes, it's a bit vulnerable. If you opt for a car with air suspension, make sure that you check the car and that it's leveled on a flat surface. Repairs for air suspension are quite expensive. I say this often, but check the brand of tires that are fitted on the car. Cheap rubber or upper class brands. This says a lot about the rest of the car in terms of maintenance. Drivetrain. Again, I say this more often, BMW says that you don't need to do any maintenance on the automatic gearboxes. Flushing the gearbox every 100,000 kilometers can prolong the life of the gearbox and can prevent from problems getting out of hand. This is always better and cheaper option than replacing your gearbox all along. Another thing, if you go for the V8, then the xDrive 50i is probably one of the most reliable, better than its predecessor. The 4.4 liter V8 uses some oil from time to time, but that's something to keep in mind and to regularly check the oil level of an engine like this. Using oil is not a bad thing, it's just a motor characteristic. The X5 is loaded with electronics, so check if it all works properly. Sometimes there are issues with the rear view camera, so check if your X5 is equipped with this option. Another weaker point is the electronical adjusted steering wheel. Then there's an issue with the V8 that was equipped with the Bosch CP4 high pressure fuel pump. Make sure that you get premium fuel for these engines, otherwise over time the fuel pump might fail on you. So with imported cars from the United States or Eastern Europe, be extra careful. Thanks for watching this video, and on my website you can find an overview of all available engines for this generation X5.